Hello everyone, someone asked me to talk about how I escaped Belize because I escaped more than one country. I went to Belize, I flew there from the United States to Belize, and it was close to the pandemic times. We're talking about 2020. I was exploring Belize up until I got to Caye, a very small island. We're talking about my second month there. And I was having the time of my life up until I had to go back to the United States because work asked me after 2 months, can you please come and help? At that time, it was required on Caye Island, which is a very tiny island. Look, you can literally walk around, run around the whole island. That's how small it is. So it was required for you to do a COVID test before boarding on a plane. That morning I woke up, I sit on a hammock as I used to do, swam around, drank my matcha, coffee at the time, and my hip, I have a hip replacement, was hurting. So I told myself, I'm going to test positive because my hip never hurt. I walked to the little shack. The lady asked me for my passport. I didn't want to give it to her, but I did give it to her. And I did the test, and then she said, Daniela, you're positive. I said, okay, give me my passport. She said, no, you can't leave the island. You are positive, you have COVID. I said, okay, I got it. Give me the passport. I literally took the passport off of her hands, and she told me, I know where you're staying. I'm going to call the place where you're staying. I said, okay, sure, do that. Took my passport, walked to the place. I found the owner and I told him, listen, I tested positive for COVID. They're gonna call you and the cops are going to come here. Now at that time, the police was taking you from place A to place B. It was a hotel, $200 a night, where you were forced to stay and not to leave for 2 weeks. You really think I was gonna stay in an island in Belize, locked in a hotel, overlooking the water? No. So I told them, the police is going to come today. You are going to tell them that I'm vomiting. You are going to move me to the farthest room because I was vomiting. So you moved me there. Now in this little island, please find me someone who has a color printer and I'm gonna figure it out the rest. I went back to my hotel room. Well, it actually was a new room, and my fever was going up. I could tell because I was not feeling well. So I WhatsApped on a call a friend of mine that was in the United States because I didn't bring my laptop with me. And the only thing I had was the paper that said COVID positive. That's it. I took a picture and sent that on WhatsApp to her. And I told her, we are going to forge this signature, redo the whole documents and all the 9 yards. She said, no. I said, oh no, we are, because I'm getting out of this island. I gave her my credential to log in inside my Adobe account, and we were on a video call for 2 hours. Sonia, I will never be thankful enough for this. We did forge the document, so she sent it back to me. At that point, it was in a PDF. The owner of the place where I was staying, he found a Chinese guy that had a color printer. So for $5, I sent him the new forged COVID test. They say negative. He printed out. The guy brought it back to me. I was not feeling well at that point. Fever was going on. And then I told him, then tomorrow I have to catch a flight. I need to get out of the island. He told me the police is coming back here at 7 in the morning. You need to, how you gonna do? I say, I'm gonna board the ferry. And he's like, well, you are blacklisted because you tested positive. Nobody get out of the island. I say, let me do it. In the morning at 6 a.m., I got on the golf cart in the back with the hoodie, so nobody could recognize me, but was early, and the guy took me to the ferry. Now, by ferry, it's a very small thing. The lady was talking to me, I was talking to her, and I said, I can find my ID, that's why I have to go back to mainland. And I gave her a fake name, and I told her they found my wallet, and my wallet is on the other side, so I have to go to Belize City. Okay. I went on the little ferry, finally made it to Belize City, got into a taxi, got it to the airport. Now, I was not able to upload the documentation on the airline website at that point. What I did, I screenshot a broken glass and I put it as a screensaver on my cell phone. And I told the check-in lady, the airport, I say, my cell phone is broke, that's why I couldn't upload, and that's the reason why I'm trying to go back to the United States, because I have to, I'll buy a new phone when I get there. She's like, she was super sweet. I do remember this of her. She told me, oh, sweetie, don't worry. Let's do the old-fashioned way with papers. Oh, I was not worried at all. I signed the paper, gave her my negative test, and she's like, okay, you're negative, you can get on a plane. Signed the paper with a fake name while I was talking to her and distracting her. And so at that point, I had to go through TSA. I went through TSA, I boarded the plane. Yes, I was sick. Yes, I had COVID. Yes, a whole plane. Nobody knew it. And finally, I flew from Belize City to United States of America with COVID. For the 2 weeks, the nurses and the police of the island was texting me on WhatsApp. Where are you? Hey, we need to take you to the other hotel. Or the nurses were like, you need to schedule other tests. Nobody could figure it out why I was not answering, because it's impossible to escape a small island, but I did. And I did call my lawyer and I told him what I did, and they say do not go back there for at least a year, just to be clear. But this is the story of how I escaped Belize. I still love the island. Don't do it.